Hello and welcome. Let's reflect together on the energies, the upcoming energies for March 2021. I understand that February has been incredibly clearing, purging, challenging for you. If it hasn't been, I say, wow, you're one of the very few people that I've encountered who hasn't had some kind of major shadow in the energy system surface during February 21. Even those I know who are in a really strong, stable place have still experienced a collapse or a reignition of past pain that was suppressed in some way. The main theme of March is going to be, where is your voice? Where is your bugle horn? Like the judgment card in the tarot deck, the angel there with his beautiful big bugle horn, and it's getting out there and it's saying, hello world, this is me, I am that I am, and I'm okay with that. So any way that you've suppressed parts of yourself, any way that your throat chakra was denied or suppressed or ignored or even invalidated, that is going to be challenged. If you are scared of your power, if you're scared of your independence, if you're scared of standing on your own 2 feet and actually activating your throat chakra, you're going to find this year is going to push you and push you until you face squarely transformation in the eye. So those of you who are more on my timeline, which is where we have gone down into those dark caves of the soul and been willing to sit in the stillness, sit in the emptiness, and to reconnect with the inner child, reconnect with the parts of ourselves that were paining, that were ailing, that were calling out for attention. You're going to find the March energy is much softer. There's a breeze, there's a refreshing breeze in the frequencies that we're going into. Especially the end of March, there's going to be everything that we've been working towards will start to gel together, will start to bond, will start to show us the bigger picture of where this not knowingness has been going. So the energies have been steeped in a sense of, I don't know. What's next? I don't know where I'm going. I don't know which direction is the right way to go. So I spoke in previous videos about feeling you're at a crossroads, that there was, are you going to go left? Are you going to go right? And having to rely on your intuition, on your gut, on your connection with your source God, self, your inner being, whatever you want to call it, to guide you on that crossroad. I feel that for most of us, what I'm feeling is that decision has been made. We've made changes. We've moved into a new era, a new timeline. We're stepping onto the first fragments of that timeline. And we were willing to do it in the dark. We were willing to do it without any sign of where it was leading or where it's going. Now, we're coming towards the end of February. We have a full moon on the 27th. There should be some light from the moonlight. There should be some light shed around this time on where you've actually arrived. For those of us who are walking in the dark, don't know what we're doing, really, really scary. All we know is our soul is telling us, keep moving, keep motion in this grief. I have been very present and in a state of awareness with my grief. Not just grief for the loss of my aunt. My uncle also passed, and my dear, dear beloved friend and client passed away as well. And then on top of all that, there has been huge grief in my heart about breaking up and choosing to leave my partner, choosing to leave a relationship. So I am very accustomed to the waves of grief right now. For you, it'll be other things. It will be other harsh decisions you had to make, other choices that, again, maybe on the surface make no rational sense. Like the choices I've made in the last few weeks to the external world make no sense. Or do they? The point being, there was a niggle. There was a niggle in you, in your situation. Perhaps it's your job, perhaps it's your location. There was a niggle in you that was saying, please listen and make adjustments. For most of you, I'm feeling you made those adjustments because it got so unbearable, so uncomfortable in February to stay in situations that were not supportive, that were not nourishing you and not meeting your needs. Well done. I'm here to pat you on the back and say, well done, because those kinds of courageous actions of confidence in your soul self is what being an empath, being a super sensitive is all about. And people who are not privy to these ways of being, these sensitivities, these psychic eyes seeing their lives, will not understand why you make these choices. And they will not, a lot of those people as well won't support or accept these choices that you've made, these changes you've made. So if you're dealing with that, please watch my video, the one before this, called Acceptance, okay? Because that acceptance has to come from within. Stop looking for acceptance from outside, from external factors. There's been an awful lot of external noise as we move through the past year, 2020, into January and February in 2021. We have been bombarded with all kinds of different information. It's just been completely overwhelming. And for those of us who are sensitive to energy and sensitive to thought forms, it's been a nightmare. And it's like it's wiped us. It's just wiped the memory. It's gone on overload. So for me, and I'm hoping for you, you took time in February to slow down and to sit in the stillness. Be still and know that I am God. If you're looking for God, go into your still heart. Find that stillness. And that can be hard when you're weeping and wailing every day and you're missing the dopamine hit from your loved one that you're grieving for, or for the comfort of the arms of your partner that you're no longer physically able to access or emotionally able to access. That is very painful, and I want to recognize your pain. If you haven't recognized your pain, do that for yourself now. Use me as a catalyst to recognize your pain. So take a deep breath and do that for yourself now. I feel like that's specific for someone who really needs to hear that and really know that in this moment I am present aware and recognizing and validating and honoring your pain. Because I haven't had anyone to do that for me, so I do that for myself. Well, I do have a friend who, she lives far away, but she does honour and recognise my pain when we talk on the phone, and that really helps. So the energies moving forward should be smoother. There's a calmer vibe in March. We will be feeling this paradox of being very tired and just wanting to rest and just to be, to go into that nothingness, that emptiness that's been calling us. And that's very soulful, that emptiness. You know, in the emptiness is everything. There's the potential for everything. Never be afraid of the emptiness. In fact, the ego mind will busy us to avoid the emptiness. But in the emptiness is actually deep healing. So there's going to be a call to no action, which is actually great productive action. That's the paradox of the stillness. So much happens in stillness. Way much more happens in stillness than in, you know, blue arse fly, flitting around the place, faffing around and actually getting a whole lot of not important stuff done. If you are drawn to these videos, you are a sensitive soul. You have to learn the language of the soul and work with that. Through my heartache, I keep my heart open. So no matter what's happening, that's my commitment to myself. Oh God, excruciating pain. Stay open, keep the heart open. Staying conscious with the process. This is a process. This is deep, deep integration. This is a cleansing of spirit for most of us. And you may call it a spring clean as we go into the spring energies. For some of you, this spring clean has gone cellular, has gone on a profound level. Like, talk about turn your life up, around, upside down, flip it on its head, having to see your world from a whole different viewpoint. That was necessary. Okay, Spirit is saying, please just hang in there and stay in the stillness. Stay in whatever, love whatever is arising, whatever's coming up. And you can have moments, I have moments of anger, I have moments of sadness. The sadness in February, woo. Sadness from memories of eons ago. Old timelines, lifetimes, other incarnations. And I've seen this mirrored back when I talk to clients. I've seen this with friends. There is tremendous sadness being released so that whatever we've been letting go of, and this is about non-attachment, and that's the emptiness and that's the stillness. Non-attachment is essential to the ascension journey right now. Being non-attached and allowing that space. So as we move more into the middle of March and then the end of March, you're able to make room for new things, new experiences, new energies. I was trying so hard. I was shown this image of being two pillars holding up the life that I've walked away from. And I felt that I could no longer, it was crushing me. The pressure and the weight of those two pillars, it was crushing me. And Spirit just said to me, just drop it. Just drop the pillars and just walk. Just walk away. Just leave that garden, leave that space and go somewhere where you can have sanctuary and you can reconnect with the part of yourself that you've lost. You can get back in touch with that power, that independence that you've flitted away unconsciously, gradually over time. And this is the thing, it still baffles me with all the awareness that we have, you know, and if you're here with me, you know, we're aware people, we're awake. You know, we are not walking around zombified. We know the deal. We know what's really going on. And it still amazes me how whatever our blind spots are, wherever our childhood wounds are, we can still, over time, get too comfortable in an uncomfortable zone, and we can lose our power and we can just give it away. And I'm 39, almost 40 years in this life, trying to make sense of it, and there's no point, actually. I should say, by the way, I don't even try to make sense of it now, because there is no sense to it. These are unconscious wounds that need to be brought up into awareness, and we can learn it, and we think all the layers are clear, and then another layer, another piece of that wound that didn't quite get to fully heal, didn't quite get to fully scab over and heal itself, shows up and says, what about me? What about my voice? What about my pain? And I was working with a friend, and I could see that as well, how there's just that shock. There was that surprise element with the Uranus energies. And I did say that in my previous video, the one I did the card reading, the free card reading, that to be prepared for shocks or surprises with those energies. I certainly received mine, as I always do. And I am very welcoming of the calming, softer, clearer lens that are the vibrational, energetic eyes of March. So there is that paradox, as I said, of being very tired, because all that processing, all those tears, all that hard work to stay in the present, to stay present with your true self, your true inner child's condition, whatever that has been for you the past few weeks. We're going to be given that calming, soothing balm of the spring energies, so that we can bathe in that, and we can calm ourselves down, and we can actually recover from the intensity of that. But the funny thing is, the paradox is that there's also this other side where there's going to be an influx of energies that's going to be calling us to tend to our new work, our new ideas, and our new place in our new timeline. So lots of new, lots of that spring rebirthing energy being blown in into our consciousness, and therefore into our lives. If there's a way for you to encourage the opening of the spring flower in your life, meaning if there's a way for you to move along the energy that feels timely, that feels, yes, I'm ready to try this, I'm ready to sign up for this course, or I'm ready to apply for that new position. I encourage you, while the energies are calm and supportive, to do that. However, if you're still in that feeling of, I don't know where I'm going, what I'm doing, I'm just in this sea of emotion right now, don't force it. This is not a time, actually, I would say it's probably never a time. I'm not a fan of forcing things. However, I do feel you need to honor and be patient. Be patient with the unknowingness, the daunting aspect of I'm swimming into new waters. I've never passed through this part of the river, and I'm gone way out beyond my depth. I'm in new waters. I don't know what this is. I just know my soul is telling me that I must swim through this part of the river. This part of the river of change is necessary for me to get to the other side. If you're in that now, just continue with that. Just keep moving through the river. You might be wading in it up to your hips, and it's mucky and murky, but remember, some of the most beautiful flowers, exotic flowers in the world, grow from the mucky, murky waters. You know, lotus flowers grow in as far as I know, lotus flowers grow in some of the muckiest, murky waters that don't look clear at all. So something beautiful is going to come as you come out the other side. And I feel that as we move through March, you will be coming out the other side. There is light at the end of this tunnel. It was just necessary to be present with whatever was coming up. For me, it was like, oh God, oh God, this is so painful. This is so uncomfortable. Like, please just, I could feel my ego mind. Please just let me do something to escape this, and just let me run. Let me run. Like, I just wanted to run, just grab my bags and run. But my soul was the bigger energy, as it always is. And I was like, shh, calm down, little one. You're just scared. You're frightened. It's okay. And it's okay to be afraid. Let's sit together. I'll hold your hands and we'll feel this fear, and we'll stay. We don't have the energy to run. There's nowhere left to run. And it wouldn't be wise to run right now. So let's just sit together and let's pray together. I've really got back into praying. I've always prayed. I love praying. And I've always, especially as a child, I did a lot of praying. But in the last few years, I've really reacquainted myself with the gift of prayer. And for me, praying is simply talking to source God. It's talking to the source of the God energy, God force, life force. And I sometimes talk to my angels, but usually I always go to the God force because that's the origin, that's the prime creator. But I will also call in my ancestors. I'll talk to my angel guides. I'll talk to the element, the nature spirits. It just depends on where I am. I'll often pray when I'm walking in nature. Sometimes I'll pray if I'm running as well. But in the last few weeks, just, you know, waking up in the morning, bursting into tears, and I'm like, okay, it's time to pray. And just lie there on my back and praying and saying to God, to the God source, please help me to feel better. Just let me move up one rung of the ladder. Help me to find the light. I'm looking for the light. Help me to be present with you this day. And then I'm able to wipe my tears and get up and do what I have to do. And, you know, before that, I wasn't able to get up and do what I had to do because I was just being present with the pain. And when you're in that kind of crippling pain from childhood, pain from violence, sexual violence, pain from whatever your wound is, there is such a tremendous, there's a sense of process, there's a sense of integration and satisfaction in seeing as each day passes, your grief that once had you by the neck starts to ease off. It's not that it's gone, it's not that you don't miss that person, it's not that you're not, it's not that you're able to say, oh, I'm cured. You know, I don't believe there's a cure for grief, but I do believe that if you can tune into the fact that grief is all this love, you have all this love, and you want to give it to that person, but that person has passed, you can fill yourself up with that love, and you can just send it spiritually to that person. And any kind of motion, any kind of movement, any kind of anything that helps you to feel as though you are processing and digesting the grief is of value. So it might be a ritual. It might be, for some people, it's maybe scattering the ashes. It might be praying. It might be lighting a candle. Then if you're feeling better, it might be, you know, going through the photographs of that person, or having a plaque made in that person's name, or whatever it is. Or maybe it's just sitting with a friend and crying and talking about how much you miss this person in your life. For me, my aunt was like a big sister. I don't have any sisters. I have 2 older brothers. And she was the closest thing to a sister in the last few years in my life. And we would have communicated regularly. We talked most days, or I would have even seen her regularly. So not having that presence has been a huge loss, because I don't have a ton of female energy friends in my life. I have a few female friends who I'm who I treasure, but you know, we're all at different stages in life and things like that, and some of my friends have children, and you know, we all have other responsibilities. The point is, any kind of movement, it doesn't have to be physical movement. I'm not talking about getting up and running a marathon. I'm talking about, you know, even if it's playing a song and just swaying in the room, even if it's just meditating, even if it's, but something that makes you feel like this activity or this moment, I am processing. I am getting that energy of grief in motion. So get motion going, but in a gentle way. Balance the paradox of the energies of rest with feeling a sense of, I need to get this done, I need to get this paperwork done, or I need to look after this responsibility. So having a balance, being able to rest but also meet your responsibilities, is going to be very supported as we move through March. If you stuck with me this long, thank you so much. Please give this video a like if you found it of benefit. I'm so very tired, so forgive me. All the love to you. Angel blessings.